Welcome into the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Let's get to the latest 49ers news and rumors and some young studs on the 49ers gaining some national buzz and recognition. Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, named by Pro Football Focus as two of the top 25 players under 25 years old heading into the 2021 season for this upcoming year. Fred Warner actually topped the list ahead of Lamar Jackson, on top of the charts at number 1. Nick Bosa coming in not far behind him at 4th on Pro Football Focus's list of the top 25 players under the age of 25. Some really headline players on this list, and I think it speaks volumes to how the 49ers have been able to build this team with some really young and talented pieces. But for 49ers fans, this is a good sign because there are some studs on this roster who are going to be under contract for the next few seasons, but also under club control, and they're going to be dominant forces on this team as well. Here's what Pro Football Focus had to say about All-Pro Fred in that list. Warner has become arguably the game's best linebacker, a position that has become ever more difficult to play given how good NFL offenses have become at attacking defensive weaknesses. The former third-round pick earned a Pro Football Focus coverage grade of 91.1 in 2020, allowing a passer rating of just 81.9 in his coverage, some 25 points lower than the average at the position, #analytics. As for what Pro Football Focus had to say about Nick Bosa, here you go. We have only seen 1 year of Nick Bosa in the NFL with injuries robbing us of an encore last season. Still, that 1 year was devastating. Bosa notched 80 total pressures as a rookie, breaking the Pro Football Focus rookie record. He was still cooking by the Super Bowl, too, where he notched 12 pressures in a losing effort to try and contain Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to pose almost an impossible question to answer here on the show. Which player of the two is more valuable? Nick Bosa, Fred Warner. Type 97 for Nick Bosa, type 54 for Fred Warner. Be sure to get your votes in the comment section down below. Here's what the top 10 list looked like from Pro Football Focus. Fred Warner on top, number 1, ahead of Lamar Jackson, A.J. Brown. Nick Bosa comes in at number 4. Jair Alexander of the Green Bay Packers in at number 5, the 6 through 10 spots. Some star players on this list: Minkah Fitzpatrick, Chase Young, Justin Jefferson, Tristan Wirfs, who was awesome last year for the Super Bowl winning Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as well as DK Metcalf. And it's certainly easy to see why Bosa and Warner were on this list in the top 5 nonetheless. Nick Bosa in 2019 as a rookie coming out of Ohio State, he was terrific. 47 tackles, 16 tackles for loss, 9 sacks. I think he's going to be a double-digit sack guy this year coming off that torn ACL, as well as 2 fumbles forced. As for Fred Warner, he was a Pro Bowler. He was an All-Pro. I think he is the game's best linebacker ahead of Darius Leonard of the Indianapolis Colts. 125 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 6 pass breakups with 2 interceptions, 1 fumble forced, and 1 fumble recovery. Now, Fred Warner is entering the final year of his rookie contract. Nick Bosa entering a critical year 3. I think both of these guys, Warner, Bosa, people around the league know that they are bona fide superstars. Both guys are going to earn the bag. They are both going to get paid, which kind of puts the 49ers in a difficult situation because I think that contract extension with Fred Warner is going to happen in the next couple of weeks, if not the next couple of months. That's not something you want to drag into the season. And then Nick Bosa, he's going into year 3. Of course, he has to prove himself that he can stay healthy coming off that torn ACL. But his last year of his rookie contract is next year, so he is going to be due a big payday as well if he lives up to the hype of being a double-digit sack guy, which I think he is going to be in 2021. So who do you think is going to make more money? I'm hitting you with the hard-hitting questions here on the 49ers Report. Get into the comments and let me know. Get your votes in. Type NB for Nick Bosa is going to make more money on his second contract. Type FW for Fred Warner. Let me know who is going to bring in the bread and make a bunch of dough. 49ers Report is made possible thanks to our friends at Newsbreak. It is the single best app that I have on my phone right now. If you go to chatsports.com/49NB, you will see what I'm talking about. Now, a few weeks ago, I had asked all of you watching here on the 49ers Report to give us a follow on the Newsbreak app, and you answered the call. Because right now, of all the channels here at Chat Sports, we are second in terms of the most followers behind the Dallas Cowboys Report. 975 of you have followed us on the 49ers Report. That's awesome. We're trailing the Cowboys Report. This is where we have to make up ground, though. And it's really, really important. Newsbreak downloads, because in the last week, Cowboys report beating us 20-5. Raiders report beating us 15-5. So download the Newsbreak app by using that link at the bottom of your screen. That will redirect you to the App Store, and you will be able to download the Newsbreak app for free. I guarantee you it'll be the best app on your phone on one single feed. You get it all from your local news and weather, your politics, pop culture, and crime, as well as your 49ers Report videos. This link is in the description as well as the comments of this video. Let's move on to the latest 49ers rumors. And last week, exactly a week ago today, we debuted the new 49ers Report Rumors Meter. Here, flagship shows here at Chat Sports, every show has a rumor meter. On the 49ers Report, we're going with Shanahats. 0 Shanahats means just chill. 1 Shanahat, intrigued but doubtful. 2 Shanahats, people are talking. 3 Shanahats, pretty likely that rumor is going to come to fruition. 4 Shanahats, light the candlestick, let's celebrate, because that rumor is going to come true. So let's get to this first rumor on today's show. Are the 49ers under Kyle Shanahan as head coach and basically offensive coordinator always going to be a run-first team? Light the candlestick. I'm giving you 4 Shanahats on this one, because we've seen so far with Kyle Shanahan as the head coach of this football team, he loves the run game. And recently, he did a fantastic podcast with Tim Kawakami of The Athletic and explained why in a pass-happy league, he's always going to want to run the ball effectively and efficiently. And the moves that the 49ers have made recently, especially this past offseason, have really backed up that philosophy of Kyle Shanahan wanting to establish the run in a pass-happy league. Because I think what the 49ers have done this offseason, they've gotten a lot of guys who are physical downhill blockers, downhill runners, or with Trey Lance, a quarterback who can run, whereas Jimmy Garoppolo cannot. Here's what Kyle Shanahan had to say on that podcast about his offensive philosophy. When I go playing Madden, I'm throwing it every single play. I enjoy stuff like that, but I've been around football long enough to know what you've got to do to win consistently. I don't think that will ever totally change. You can get hot throwing the ball and stuff, but there comes a time when you're going to have to sit back and run it. Usually for me, philosophy-wise, that is where it starts. And let's start this with talking about the drafting of Trey Lance. Jimmy Garoppolo is a statue in the pocket. Trey Lance is not. Besides Justin Fields, he was one of the best athletes at the quarterback position in this year's NFL draft class, and his ability to run it will certainly be breathtaking and explosive in Kyle Shanahan's offense, and his ability to run it too is going to kind of change how Kyle Shanahan calls his plays once Trey Lance becomes the starter of this team. Also in the NFL draft, after Trey Lance, 49ers selected Aaron Banks in the second round out of Notre Dame, as well as Jalen Moore, tackle, guard, swing guy out of Western Michigan. Both of those guys are maulers. They're massive. And I think they both figure to be starters at some point. Maybe Aaron Banks is able to start right away in his rookie season. Jalen Moore at some point down the road. He's getting a lot of reps, or will get a lot of reps during training camp because of the injury to Justin School, both at the tackle and guard spots. Both of those offensive linemen are dudes who can pave the way for all the running backs on this roster and open up gaping holes, and they are so physical. So that's why I think Kyle Shanahan is going to continue to go with a run-first approach. But are you in disagreement with Kyle Shanahan on this? Do you want the 49ers to pass more? If so, type Y for yes. If not, type N for no. Be sure to get your votes in the comment section down below. Help us continue to grow here at the 49ers Report, because we are 40 subscribers away from getting to 36,000 subscribers here on the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. If you're watching this live, because we are recording this here on Thursday. How do you subscribe for the best 49ers news and rumors and free videos every single day? You either hit that red subscribe button down below or go to youtube.com/49erstv. Let this be your hub for everything going on with this franchise. Another rumor to get to is Aaron Banks going to thrive in his first year as a guard on the offensive line for Kyle Shanahan's own offense? I'm giving this 3 Shanahats. And when Aaron Banks was drafted in the second round, I was somewhat confused by it, because for a grinder, for a guy who will drive you into the turf, For a physical offensive lineman, I didn't necessarily think he was going to fit Kyle Shanahan's offensive scheme, but the more I thought about it, the more the move made sense, because in past years, the 49ers have valued smaller offensive linemen. What did they do in the NFL draft this year? They went forward with larger offensive linemen, and this was somewhat of a surprise that the 49ers moved back in that trade with the Raiders to take Aaron Banks. Some questioned the fit. I did at first, but I'm not anymore. And I talk about the 49ers kind of having a history of drafting smaller offensive linemen. One of the reasons why some people were surprised by the drafting of Aaron Banks is because this guy is 6'5", 325 pounds, and throughout his Notre Dame career, he was a stalwart on that offensive line. But just because he's 6'5", 325 doesn't mean he's not athletic. He tested really well at his pro day with the Fighting Irish, a vertical jump of 31 inches. Like, I can barely get 10 inches off the ground. Can you imagine being 325 pounds and leaping vertically with no running jump 31 inches? That's filthy. That is ridiculous. And I mentioned Aaron Banks having an illustrious career with the Fighting Irish. He was fantastic, both in the ground game as well as in pass protection. 2 sacks given up in 3 years for Aaron Banks. That's why I'm high on this guy going into his rookie season, and why I realistically think that he could possibly start at right guard. The 49ers offensive coaching staff as high on him as I am. Here's what offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel had to say about their second round pick. We thought he was a guy who was quick enough on the second level that he could attach to defenders. He had a lot of skills. We like that he's big. He's just going to have to run fast while being big, and we felt like he was a candidate to do that. So I guess if there's one concern from Mike McDaniel when talking about Aaron Banks, it is his speed, especially in Shanahan's offense, where he asks his centers and his guards to kind of pull out, get out in space, and get to that second level to open up running lanes for Kyle Juszczyk as well as all of the running backs on this roster. But man, the sample size is certainly there. 30 starts at Notre Dame, only gave up a few sacks in 3 years. The arrow is certainly pointing up on this guy. So did you like the pick of Aaron Banks? I know a lot of you were surprised by it, but did you like it? Get into the comments, get your votes in. Type L for yes, I liked it. Type E for I'm going to go ahead and type L for like, because I really like this prospect. Some news that broke right before we went live. According to Field Yates of ESPN, the 49ers have suspended defensive end Jordan Willis for the first 6 games of the 2021 regular season. Now, he is going to be able to participate in off-season activities as well as training camp, but he is not going to be available for this team the first 6 weeks of the regular season. According to the 49ers, who sent out a tweet just a little while ago before we did go live, that suspension is due to performance-enhancing substances. Jordan Willis traded to the San Francisco 49ers from the New York Jets at the NFL trade deadline a season ago, but it's not like this guy had a monster impact in 2020, so this is not going to cripple that defensive front, which I think is going to be one of the best across the league. 13 tackles in 7 games last year with the Niners, 2 tackles for loss to go along with 2.5 sacks, as well as 5 quarterback hits. And I'm not going to lie, like, the production in 7 games for Jordan Willis was pretty good, but something tells me that the 49ers were somewhat concerned about him because they signed Samson Ebukam, they brought in Arden Key, they really bulked up the defensive line, restructuring the contract of D Ford as well. You have Nick Bosa coming off that torn ACL, so him being out for the 6 weeks isn't going to kill them. It will, though, hurt their depth.